often say in our family, because we are a family company that now works with other entities, we say blockchain is more a community rather
exactly.
than a technology, meaning the technology enables it actually at the core of what blockchain is, and that accountability, that willingness to walk the journey together. Exactly. The technology or the platform or the ledger is what enables it, but really blockchain is a lifestyle of accountability. That's how we see it. So in that sense, I wanted to ask, there's this culture in Africa of the generation that has gone ahead and the emerging generation, millennial, baby boomers, those that control means of production in the economy, and those that are aspirant, wanting to learn, even though they may not walk in a straight line. So how do these two cultures and these two worlds intersect on this ledger, on this platform, on this emerging tech that has so much to offer to both generations and the future generation? And I think you spoke about leaving your ego aside when you made your own personal transition. What are we doing as multiple generations, multiple culture? And I think that I want to qualify that question with this. You mentioned about when Facebook said no more coming to the office for a year, it means they could hire across boundaries, across borders. It's funny how medically there's been this notion of doctors without borders. But now in 2020 with COVID, I'm seeing everybody without borders. It's a very interesting scenario. So in that everyone without borders, we can be a global community. How do you perhaps encourage, or what's your take on us overcoming our generational biases and our cultural biases in order to come through to see blockchain for social good and for economic good? How do we lower the barriers to entry that we set up with our perhaps cultural biases? How do we really instill a sense of community, which is what blockchain requires in order to be deployed? How do we get around that? Because I think you've navigated a couple of those scenarios where maybe egos got in the way, or fears, or the unknowns. How do we navigate that as multiple generations and various cultural people in cultural territories that are not similar? How do we evolve and not pull the card of you are government, I'm private sector, you are baby boomer, I'm millennial? How do we get past all that nonsense, for lack of a better way?
So I get the feeling, it's not the feeling, it's a fact, that what's happening is that we have a parallel universe, okay?
Yes,
so because this new technology is really very disruptive and totally different, I always say, it's like people are asking me for a faster horse and I'm offering a car. So they don't understand the car. And I'm sure when the horse looked at the car, said to the car, I am faster because the horses were faster than the first cars. And they must have looked really weird to the horse rider, no? And the horse rider must have said, but what rubbish is this? So just imagine the difference, okay? This is as dramatic as exactly that analogy I gave you. So what happened is that nobody can stop progress, because when an idea has come that it's time to release it to the world, like Satoshi Nakamoto's white paper was that was it. You know, when I read that paper, you know, I started crying. I cried because after 20 years of working in the financial markets, we had not resolved many problems that we had in the market. I can list them. But then I read the paper, and the paper explained how we could resolve the problems. So immediately, a person like me thought, that's it. The world has changed. Here's the car. I don't need a horse. So I could work out that the horse was irrelevant, and I embraced the car. But it takes, you know, it takes like the tipping point. It takes, you know, the early adopters. I'm the early adopter, okay? I was the one that converted, you know, because remember, I converted to Africa from a proper physical paper delivery for financial markets into a complete digital world. And I could do it 20 years ago without any shadow of a doubt, when everybody was doubting me. So I can see that my mind works into the future. So for me, embracing change it's what I thrive on. But I know that the majority of human beings have been hardwired to understand only what they understand. If it's not in their paradigm, there's many studies that have been done that we have blind spots. There's certain things we cannot accept, we cannot see, we cannot accept and believe in. So immediately, the one thing that happened to me in my presentations I've been giving now for 3 years, I used to cover the history of Bitcoin. Now I don't mention Bitcoin. So the moment you mention Bitcoin, the baby boomers immediately start saying, oh, that is a fraud, that is used by the syndicates and blah, blah. Little did they know that cash is used by the whole bloody world of terrible people, But let's not go there. So eventually...
That's true.
No?
That's true.
So eventually, you know what's happening? The millennials are calling the cash, the fiat currencies, the rand, the dollar, the yen, all the currencies backed by central banks. The millennials are calling this currency the baby boomer currency because they don't believe in this currency anymore. So slowly but surely, they are going to start having their own apps and their own independence. And they're going to start, putting their feet into cryptocurrencies. And then from there, once you understand crypto, you'll understand security tokens, tokenized security, real estate, tokenized assets, any type of information in the blockchain is going to be a natural next step. And when the parents of the baby boomers ignore this, the millennials will carry on building this world in their garages. And that's how Steve Jobs was able to create this amazing company called Apple, and so forth. So what I'm saying to you is that everything is happening in parallel, but one world is dying now faster because since the COVID, we realized we needed to get ready for this revolution because we now have to just use technology to interact. I'll give you an example. 5 years ago, I was still the CEO of STRATE. I had a very important meeting with the registrar of title deeds. And then I said to her, let's transfer all the title deeds into a dematerialized database like we did for share certificates. And then you'll be completely digital and all the title deeds will be secure. She said, no, thank you. We are microfishing the title deeds. And I don't know if you know what a microfiche is. I don't know if you know. But I have to tell you, very few people remember microfiche. But the problem with microfiche is just a picture. You take a picture of a document. So that's why when COVID took place, they couldn't go back to the office and they couldn't carry on operating. Because the records are pictures that are not... Yes. So imagine the lost opportunity 5 years ago. Today she would be totally electronic. So now, I hope that someone told her to throw the microphone away.
Yeah, that's true. And talking about 5 years later, there is a picture that I spotted early this week where let's call them cavemen, or for lack of a better word, our ancestors, they were carrying a heavy haulage, wheeling it along, but their wheel was square. And along comes an expert like you who says, I've got these 2 round wheels. Could you maybe give me a moment to show you how they work? And the 2 ancestors were like, we are way too busy for any expert input right now. So do you...
I get that every day.
So
every day.
Look at that. Yeah. And how do you navigate that and still...
I'm totally blunt. I say, guys, throw away the legacy. Start again. And start again and let me show you how you can do it. Because really, we can do the changes fast and not expensive, and it's intuitive. Just remember, you build an app. You give them an app. It's on the internet, on a web page. It is unbelievable. The platform doesn't get touched. The platform has been built. Consensys has built an amazing platform using Ethereum, but it has all the tools, all the interfaces. So the project could be done in 3-4 months. We did Project Coca, which is the project we did for the replacement of the RTGS system at the Reserve Bank. We did it in 3 months.
For the Reserve Bank. For the Reserve Bank, yes.